Hi, and welcome to my channel, Saute and Sante. Today we're making a French dish, beef bourguignon. It's a hearty beef stew with the beef braised in red wine. Let's get started. For the ingredients, you'll need 3 pounds of beef chuck roast, 4 pieces of bacon diced, 1 large onion, 2 carrots, 2 garlic cloves, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 2 sprigs of thyme, 1 sprig of rosemary, 1 to 2 bay leaves, olive oil, salt and pepper, 10 white mushrooms, 10 jarred pearl onions, fresh parsley to garnish, 1.5 cups of beef broth, and a quarter bottle of red wine. And also don't forget a glass of wine for yourself as well. Sante, let's get started. First we'll start off by browning our bacon. We want the bacon to render the fat, but we're actually going to take the bacon out once it's rendered out. After the bacon has browned up, we can go ahead and take it out of the pot. We can save this for later or garnish any other dish, but we won't be using it in the dish. Next, you want to get your chuck roast into the pot. But before we do, we want to cut 2-inch pieces. You can discard any excess fat. Next, you want to take your chuck roast and then roast each of the sides. And you can do this in batches. You don't want to overcrowd the pot. It's just going to take a couple minutes per side. Just like that. We can go ahead and flip them over. Once these are nice and brown, we can get them out and get the next batch in. Next, let's get our onion chopped and our garlic minced. Next, we'll go ahead and get our garlic ready for the press. Chop off the ends, discard that, and then slam. It could easily peel off. Let's get these onions sauteing, and then we'll get the garlic in once the onions are translucent. All right, let's get these onions in. It'll take a couple minutes. At this point, I think our pot needs a little bit of olive oil, so I'm just going to add about 1.5 tablespoons. Okay, so now we can go ahead and add our garlic in and saute for about another 30 seconds to a minute. And at this point, you're going to start smelling the garlic enhance the onions. Just make sure it's on low heat so it doesn't burn. Next, we'll go ahead and add in our flour. We want to cook that so we don't have the flour taste. It cooks out. Then we can go ahead and add in our beef broth. Stirring it so we don't have lumps of flour. Now, at this point, we can go ahead and get our meat back into the pot. That meat is going to have all that good juice, so you don't want that to go to waste. Go ahead and pour that in. Next, we'll add our 1/4 bottle of wine, red wine, and that's about a cup. Go ahead and stir that in. Now we can go ahead and season with our black pepper, salt. Then we'll go ahead and add our bay leaf, our 2 sprigs of thyme, and also a sprig of rosemary, and give this a stir. Next, we want to bring this up to a boil on medium heat, and then we'll lower it and let it simmer for 2.5 to 3 hours until the meat is nice and tender. So all that's left is, while the meat is simmering, we'll go ahead and prep our veggies, and around the 2-hour mark, we'll go ahead and add the veggies in so that they can cook towards the end. For the medium-sized mushrooms, you want to quarter the mushrooms. And for the smaller ones, you can just cut it in half slices. We could put this to the side. Keep in mind, these were cleaned with a wet, damp cloth. You don't want to wash these underwater, because they are like sponges and they will absorb the water, and we don't want excess water in our dish. Also, keep in mind, for everything that I use in my kitchen, I'll link the Amazon link down below, so you can go ahead and grab that if you need any of the utensils. Now for the carrots, we'll go ahead and peel the carrots. And we want to cut it into like 1-inch pieces. 1 to 1.5. Okay, we'll put this to the side as well. We'll get our parsley diced up as well, and then set these aside and wait until the meat cooks. So here we are at the 2-hour mark. As you can see, the liquid has condensed. Around the 1.5-hour mark, I added a little bit more of the beef stock and a little bit more of the wine, just because the water was reduced to a low amount. Now we can go ahead and add our vegetables. So first, we're going to get our mushrooms in, and then our carrots, and our pearl onions. Give this a mix. If you think that it needs a little bit more liquid, then go ahead and add it. I think that it might need a little bit more beef stock, so I'm going to top it off with a little bit more beef stock. A couple tablespoons. Go ahead and mix that. Keep in mind that this might need to cook for another 30 minutes to another hour. The meat is a little bit tender, but this still needs to cook a little bit more. So keep your eye on it. Keep it on low heat, and close the pot so that it cooks. And after 2.5 hours, this is how it looks. The liquid has rendered down. Look at how tender the meat is. You can cut through with a spoon. Now you can spoon out the bay leaf and also the oregano and the rosemary, and now let's get to plating. So first, we'll start off by ladling a decent amount of mashed potatoes onto our dish. I'll link the recipe down below. Next, we'll go ahead and get some of our meat on top, and the veggies. Just like that. And lastly, we'll go ahead and sprinkle some Italian parsley on top. And there's my take on beef bourguignon. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share your comments down below. And remember, be happy, laugh often, saute and sante. See you next time. Sante.